Hello friends, welcome back to TMYS Academy. Today I'm sitting with Ajay Arora. Ajay is the Associate VP Strategic Planning and Projects at Hero Enterprise. Along with that, he is also a sports enthusiast. He is a marathoner. And at this time, he also mentors and helps others to achieve their goals in marathon. Ajay, welcome to the show.
Hi, morning. Thank you, Coral.
Good morning, Ajay. And we are very pleased that you have joined us. And as per the format of the show, I would request you to tell me one story from your life which you think has been very, very impactful and very, very touching and inspiring. And the learning content is very high. So if you could tell us something from there, from your repertoire.
Morning, folks, and good morning once again to Coral and your team. Many thanks for having me here on this platform. I understand you guys have been doing an excellent work. Some of my colleagues and friends have been talking very highly of TMBY, and that's how
Thank you so
that's
much.
how I am, and I'm actually feeling privileged that I have been chosen to come on this platform and share my story. Well, there have been a number of things which I'm 46, right? 46 into 365 would be, if you multiply the number of days and all, every day is a new story. Every minute is something new that we are learning. But there have been certain incidents which have had very lasting impact on me, my mind, and the way I live my life.
Mhm.
Some of them I can talk publicly, some of them I can't. So I'm going to refer to one of those stories, one of those incidents which have had a very lasting impact on my mind and the way I live. In fact, not many people know about it, but a few in my in my circle do know about it. So here is that story. You know, the title of the story would be 30th September 2012.
Mm.
Many people would ask why a date is a title of a story. 30th September is typically, you know, this is the last day of the 9th month of the Gregorian calendar, as most of you would know. I mean,
Mm.
for many of us, it's where the financial year as a half year also ends. It's a very important day in my life. Not many people would know that September used to have 29 days
Mm.
until Julius Caesar, the Roman general, he added this 30th day in September as part of Julian reforms.
Mm.
So this added day stands like a milestone, an important milestone in my life, having learned a very, very important lesson that day. The day began like usual. If I have to do a little bit of flashback, I remember the day actually began like usual.
Mhm.
It was a Sunday, and I woke up like a normal Sunday at around 5 a.m. to go for my morning run. Except that this was scheduled to be a half marathon, the 21.1 kilometers Airtel Delhi half marathon. On the way to New Delhi's Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, where the race was to begin, I picked up my friend and running buddies, Vikram and Nidhi. And we were all also so giggling on the way, making plans for a post-run beer bash. You know, typically in runners, beer bash is termed as a recovery mechanism. This is what mature runners feel.
Right.
We thought that we'll finish up fast and then get back and get some chilled beers, and then we'll have a good day after that. This was actually going to be my fifth half marathon in a row.
Mm.
Having raised the bar every time in the last four editions and having prepared well over the last 16 weeks, I was quite confident of another personal best. PB as a term, it is usually called in the lingo of athletes. So if you ask PB to any athlete, any of the amateur marathon runners, they would actually relate it to the personal best. The blessings and support of my colleagues, running mates, and elders was with me. And this made me even more excited. I had given myself an ambitious and so-called stretch target This term of stretch target is very, very famous in corporate lingo. And I was quite confident of achieving the same as I had done in the past. And no wonder I was placed in the A category of runners, which is usually the top 5 to 10% of all participants. And this is based on the past performance of how you have been doing. That day I wore my new running tees, my new running t-shirt, and my most comfortable running shoes, so that I could get some nice pictures at the finish line and while receiving the medal. I could visualize myself receiving the medal as well.
Right.
It was a good start. At around 7:30 a.m., with a shot of the gun, all runners started on their
Tracks.
Literally, it's called a field run. You run with your heart. I was cool and composed and had a small slip with me, a small paper slip with me to keep track of my target, which I could refer to. The target time was actually given for each of the milestones on the way, so as to reach the final goal. This is something like breaking a bigger target into smaller activities or smaller goals, which all project managers among all of us are aware of. Something like a project management sheet, or where you have activity and timeline listed to that. So I had that slip, which would mean that first kilometer in 5 minutes, second kilometer in 5.5 minutes. Every kilometer is marked that this much time has to be consumed in this much kilometer. The first 2-3 kilometers are always tough, since the body actually takes time to get settled in the running zone. The crowd around also makes it tough for a serious runner to get his way around during initial phase. So I don't know how many of us are familiar with the topography or geography of Delhi or the major milestones. So I'm going to refer to some of them as we cross this running journey.
Sure.
So as I crossed certain milestones, like the Sai Baba Temple. Sai Baba Temple is very close to Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium at the Lodi Road, followed by the picturesque Lodi Gardens, and then the luxurious Oberoi Hotel, across which stands the DPS, the Delhi Public School, Mathura Road, followed by the Delhi Zoo. I couldn't stop feeling a bit of sweat drenching down my body. And this seemed more than usual. Actually, much more than usual. At the historic Rajpath, and then the halfway mark of the Jantar Mantar. Jantar Mantar is the 18th century observatory. It stands around all government buildings of Parliament Street in New Delhi. At this place, I was going strong and smiling, though not as per the target, as you may notice in some of the pictures in around India Gate. If you have a second, I can share one of the pictures as well.
Yes.
This is at the halfway mark. Just behind, you can see behind this picture, you can see the India Gate, the historic India Gate. Behind, this is the India Gate, right? So as you can see at the historic India Gate, I was also quite smiling. In fact, I also noticed several runners stopping on the way. One fellow runner from Bombay, I would refer to it Bombay, not Mumbai. Huh? I'm one of those old technology, the old culture, this thing. So in fact, I'm wearing the Bombay t-shirt as well, the Mumbai Marathon t-shirt as well today.
Right.
If you can notice, my first Mumbai Marathon, this was about, I think 4 or 5 years ago. So I also noticed several running stopping on the way. One fellow runner from Bombay told me that the weather was the worst, humidity even higher than Bombay standards, and that the national capital was not treating them well. Several folks who were limping made it evident of the cramps induced by the kind of dehydration that they had undergone. I tried my best to not just support and cheer them, but also tried my best to get them back on their feet. All throughout this, I kept falling behind time and also continued to lose fluids and salt from my body in the form of sweat. However, I kept pushing myself and working towards the goal which I kept for myself. We also noticed a few ambulances on the way, which had picked up a few injured runners, and there were quite a few of them this time, which quite unusual this time. At the 15-kilometer mark, I also felt quite exhausted and was much behind the target. At this point, I bumped into my close friend, Hardeep Brar. So Hardeep had been a former colleague at Maruti and currently director of marketing and sales at Nissan, Nissan Cars India. He also echoed the feeling of exhaustion. In running, it is said that we run better when we run together. Thus, we kept encouraging and supporting each other from 17-kilometer mark to the 20-kilometer mark. The marathon is not really about marathon. It's actually about the shared struggle. You know, we are all struggling, but we have to keep up the tempo. The last 1,000 or so meters in any marathon present an interesting spectacle, with crowds cheering the runners. And while a few are struggling to crawl to the finish line, rest are wanting to challenge themselves to the finish line. It's an ultimate mind game with a body paining from everywhere. But it's only those with a strong mind persist. As one of the legendary marathon runner, Martin Costello said, you are running on guts, on fumes. Your muscles twitch. You throw up. You're delirious. But you keep running because there's no way out of this hell you are in. Because there's no way you are not crossing the finish line. It's actually a misery that non-runners don't understand. In this specific case of 30th of September 2012, which is about 8 years ago, it was quite different, with many runners limping and a few wanting to challenge themselves. With the kind of ziddi mind that I have. Ziddi in English would refer to heavy-headed.
Right, stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn. Some people call it the power of persistence as well, in positive
yes, absolutely.
sense.
In a positive way.
Yeah. With this kind of stubbornness or heavy-headedness or persistence that I had, I didn't give up and pushed hard with the target slip in my hand. You know, the target slip which I had started with, that this is my target time. Then came the last 100 meters. You know, last 100 meters are when you can actually see the finish line. And a huge ticking clock. The clock ticks as the time passes by. The view of looking at the finish line and the ticking clock is actually exhilarating. And the strong-headed like me ideally charge ahead to just cross the finish line and put yourself on the red carpet. You actually get a red carpet welcome once you cross that. It's just like watching a lion which has been chasing its prey for last 2 hours. Actually, it was almost 2 hours. And then finally pouncing onto it to make the kill. So when you have to go for a kill, you have to accelerate. Right. You know, the final kill has to be go and get it. It was just 50 meters. I was just 50 meters away from the final finishing line. And I pressed the pedal. You know, you just give a kick to yourself. Go, man, go. Give that final push. And then the moment I pressed the pedal, there came a sound, zook. I don't know what happened, but it felt as if a string has broken. And I felt my knees have turned into cotton. Unable to withstand my load. So I tried to sit there actually on the ground, on the road, unable to move, as you can refer to this picture in this. A few volunteers came around to support and escort me. I was down, but not out of the competition. Neither did I want a black mark on my head, which reads DNF. DNF actually stands for did not finish. So for a marathon runner, a DNF is something like is something you don't accept it, right? You don't have to give up. I really don't know what happened after that and how I completed the last 50 meters or so of the race. But I saw these pictures of mine at the finish line, just crawling, just walking down that side. Probably I felt unconscious over the last 30-40 meters. And after the finish line, I was actually put up in the medical camp where I threw up a few times. I was given a few injections before getting back to senses in about an hour or so. There have been many marathons after this one. The very next event, I went back and did much better than this one in terms of the target and raised the bar even higher and higher. So every last few years, I have been raising the bar higher, touch wood. But this one of 30th of September 2012 always remains etched in my memory. Maybe because I learned an important lesson of always preparing yourself to the external environment. Because the external environment can change your plans, can actually throw you out of the ground. So in this case, the external environment for which I was not prepared was the extreme weather, which led to this thing happening. So that is where I would want to conclude this, that the story which I would want to narrate. Let's always be prepared for that extreme weather.
Ajay, it was a very, very touching and very, very difficult thing to hear. At some point of time, I was totally like, what the hell is happening? As if I was a part of that particular, I was probably a part of that audience, waiting for the best man to win, and then something is just going wrong. You know, but what you said makes immense sense in life in general, not just as a marathoner, but in life in general, specifically right now. See, 3 months ago, probably none of us had thought that something called Corona will put an entire economy into a shutdown. And the most energetic people would be locked down, and they wouldn't have a choice. They would have to follow this. And I'm sure many of us had very ambitious plans about 2020. And losing 2 months of your time is a really bad blow on your determination, stamina, on your on everything that you may have planned for self. So this is a very general, a very generic problem, which a lot of people might find very, very relatable, which is that in spite of your best preparations, at times, external factors, it could be environmental, it could be health, it could be mental, it could be physical, that external factors don't allow you to do what you are meant to do or what you are meant to achieve. You are a sports person, so probably the sportsmanship teaches a lot of things, which also includes acceptance of a situation and recovering from it as early as possible, mentally first and then physically. How would you suggest people to do that in general life situations?
I think the point that you made is very, very relevant, Coral. Actually, what to talk of 3 months ago, even about 45 days ago, even a month and a half, nobody in India or in our kind of cities, we thought that life is going to come to a standstill the way it has. Many times there are external factors. You know, it is called the black swan event, right? A lot of people call it the black swan events. A lot of people call it the random events. You know, when the going is good, we don't think of things which can go wrong. But in our corporates, there is always a thing called scenario planning. You know, that for if this thing happens, then let's pick up this and do it. But in this case, none of us were prepared actually. It's just like Bombay floods, right?
Yeah.
Or not the Bombay floods. When the Bombay rains, the government also says that nobody was prepared to take up this kind of upheaval. So nobody was prepared. But I think there are two parts to it. One is that if I'm a firm believer of everything what happens for the good. You know, there's a reason for everything to happen. If we look back about about 60 million years ago, dinosaurs. The dinosaurs used to rule Earth, right? There was a black swan event, and there was a meteor strike, and they were all finished in about 8 to 10 minutes. The entire Earth was clean, right?
Yeah.
And it's only after that the human beings have come into existence.
Right.
So if that event would not have happened, we would not have come into play. I don't know if I mean, some people say that the nuclear bomb, the Holocaust, and all these things were also worst. But if these things would not have happened, how would we have learned about them? While for me it's very easy to say because I've not passed through those situations. But I think everything happens for the good, and it makes us stronger. And in a journey of life, in a journey of life, about typically 80 years of in an 80-year life cycle, 2 months or 3 months, it's just like losing 1 or 2 minutes in a marathon. A marathon is about, which is 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make a lot of difference. You can always cover up. So I think we have to believe in ourselves and we have to be positive. But having said that, it's not easy to come back from, if I refer to my race, I was broken after that race. Although I completed it, I couldn't achieve the target. For 3 months, I didn't run. I thought that it's over and I can't do it. For a person to get back his or her confidence is not easy.
Yeah.
But if you notice, after that, I've run many marathons. As you can see, you can see the medals behind me, right?
Yes, I can.
These are just a few of them, and they have been coming up. So I think the basic thing is to have a strong mind, or the mind. It's ultimately a mind game. In Hindi, they say "Man ke hare hare, man ke jeete jeet." If you find a will, you can always do it. I think that's most important, and that's what we have to keep in mind. We have to keep going. We don't have to let anything cross our mind that we can't do it, etc., etc. We can.
Ajay, this is a very what we are talking about right now. This could be a very dichotomous situation for anybody, or for whatever we expect from a human being at such point of time. One is, we expect a human being or expect ourselves to be determined, to have faith in ourselves, to hope for the best, to go for the best, to prepare with whatever best we have, and aim for the best, right?
Yes,
that is on one hand. On the second hand, there is also a need for all of us to prepare our minds that we shouldn't break down, or we shouldn't feel lost, or we shouldn't feel failed in case something comes up and we don't make it. So on one hand, we are saying that nothing can come before us on the way towards our success. And on the other hand, there is also some kind of preparation that must go inside the same brain, where we are prepared for things which are not in our control, and unfortunately they happen. In such a case, how does the two go together? What is your take on that?
So again, there are two parts to this question. I completely agree. We have to keep going, and we don't have to give up.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned from all these sporting activities, and we don't have to give up. Second thing, in life, there are things which are beyond our control. For example, in Bombay, if it rains, it's not in your control, right? And the rain continues for 2 days, 3 days. In Delhi, there's a traffic jam, right? Things which are not in our control. what is in our control is to carry an umbrella, is to take a different route in case of a traffic, or you know, I mean, what is there in our control is something that we have to work upon. Not worry about what is things which are not in our control. The sun is shining bright. We have to accept it as a fact of life, right? There are certain things which we have to accept, and there are certain things that we have to fight. So that distinction of what you have to accept and for what you have to fight, I think that's very important. That's so that to each one is our own. Some people, and I actually look at it very positively, that this is a time when all of us can use to pursue those activities or those hobbies which we didn't find time to do at other point of time. In fact, this storytelling, what you have actually started very well, Coral, I must tell you, compliment you. Some people are spending time with their families. Some people are trying to learn guitar or something else. I mean, you can't learn driving at this point of time because it's all locked down. So that's something that you have to accept, that you can't go out. But something which you can do at home, it's a very, very important. I must actually thank God for giving us this, all of us. And this is not and another positive thing about this thing is that, you know, at this point of time, it's not that I am behind you. All of us are at the same platform. All of us are at home. In a competitive life, we think that, as they say, that uski kameez meri kameez se safed kaise. In this case, it's not that a person A is working and he's earning big bucks or he's going ahead of me. He's also at home. We're all at the same level. Huh? Right. It's up to me how I utilize my time. It's up to him how he utilizes his time. Right. If I can be engaging with you and I'm also trying to rediscover my strengths based on what I learned from you, that's all because of you, Coral.
Thank you so much. Yes. The third and the last point that I wanted to discuss is something that you have very briefly touched upon. You just said that you took 3 months to actually come out of that phase mentally and get back to your earlier determination, to the levels of your earlier determination, and say that this is what you wanted and you will not fall short from wanting those, come what may.
Yes.
So how does someone, after an unfortunate setback, how does someone get back to that same frame of mind, to that same phase of mind, which puts them back into the same space from which that setback had happened, and leave that setback behind by all means? How does someone do that? What are there something that you would prescribe? Are there any exercises? Is there a mental or physical exercise or something that you would prescribe?
So there's no formula as such that you inject this vaccine and your state of mind changes, you know.
True.
Had it been so easy, people would have immediately taken that pill and things would have got normal.
Yeah.
This is to each one his or her own. What I have learned, I can share you that.
Yes, please.
Is that, and also I've learned from people like Phil Knight, who's the founder of Nike. Yes. He also, you know, when he was Nike is a company which makes sports apparel, started with shoes and everything. So this guy, whenever he would come up with some challenges, he would go on a 6-mile run or a 9-mile run or a 3-mile run and take, in fact, a lot of his meetings also used to be there while running.
Oh.
Yeah. He used to say that some of our meetings also used to be there in our run. So I think a physical activity is something which keeps us moving. If one is depressed or one is in a bad mood or one has gone through certain tough time, if we do some physical activity, the mind automatically gets diverted. You know, ultimately it's all the mind game. You have to train your mind not to think of what had gone wrong. You have to put it and your energy levels. So this is what I tell my folks also. Like in cars, you've got the concept of BHP, the CC, right? The horsepower or the CCs. The motorcycles, the car, two-wheelers, all the automobiles have concept of CC. For human beings, there's no CC. There's no potential which is defined for human beings. You don't have that this person has got 2 horsepower, this has got 3 horsepower. The potential of human beings is immense.
Yes.
And that is what a person has to remember, that you are not no different from someone who's made the world record. Ultimately, that has to be kept in mind. And any habit which has to be made, they have a golden rule of 21. I'm sure most of us would know that any habit which has to be made, it takes 21 days to establish that. Or if you have to break something, it takes 21 days. That's it.
True.
You have to, for 21 days, do that. Whether do some physical activity, whether you do some yoga, or whether you have to read something. After 21 days, you don't have to do anything. The body automatically demands it. It becomes part of your DNA.
Right.
So I think that is those are the 3-4 things that a person may want to keep in mind.
Right. Thank you so much, Ajay, for this really, really insightful talk, because at least for me, I learned a lot from this discussion, and the story that you said was very, very touching. And I'm sure our audience will really, really enjoy hearing you, because there's a lot of learning in that little time you spent in telling that story from your life.
Thank you very much, Coral. Pleasure was all mine. I also learned a lot about myself while telling this story. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless you too. And once again, big thanks for being with us.